Lemhi County Sheriff Lynn Bowerman says if DeOrr Kunz Sr. and Jessica Mitchell are honest with investigators, this case will get solved. I sat down with the sheriff to talk about new developments and to discuss what's next in the search for DeOrr Jr. Let's go back to Monday. You announced that DeOrr and Jessica are suspects.
Basically, I was saying they were the top persons of interest, but, actually, yeah, I believe they're suspects. After an extensive week of interviewing, re-interviewing, and an announcement from the FBI that they were being less than truthful on their polygraphs, and a lot of irregularities and discrepancies in their interviews, I felt it was necessary to come forward and say that the parents are being less than truthful.
Where have they been inconsistent? Can you go through a few examples?
Well, our timeline has constantly changed. A lot of just small facts, but things that should be important to them, important in their memory, have changed from who made the decision to do what, or who cooked that morning, or who took a fishing pole down to the creek. Just minor changes like that, constantly changing.
Are Isaac and Grandpa still considered persons of interest?
Well, their polygraphs were inconclusive, which we figured from the get-go was probably going to be the case. So, I still can't rule them out. So,
but the focus of the investigation is steering toward the parents.
I believe so.
What has their reaction been since Monday? Are you communicating with them?
I'm not personally. Most of the communication has been from Bonneville County detectives because they're down in the area. They're where the family and the friends live. So they have helped us extensively on the investigation. So all along they've been very cooperative and met with us when we've asked them to meet with us. But when confronted with the irregularities and the being less than truthful, they haven't changed their story.
And I would imagine they've been questioned separately, together, in a variety of ways.
Yeah, I don't believe they've been questioned together for quite a while. I think since the first time we questioned them, they were probably together. I assume they were together. But I think everything after that has been separate.
What do you think happened?
I have no clue. Absolutely no clue. I mean, there's a lot of things I could speculate, but I really don't want to go there. I don't want to have to change my... I don't want to have to apologize for, making a statement that wasn't true. I want to get it right.
So where do you go from here?
Well, I think, we've asked the public to come forward, and I had like 4 or 5 telephone calls this morning from individuals who either know mom and dad and the child and have seen them either interact in the past, or they've overheard something as simple as that, or they think they can provide information. We've just asked the public to come forward with any information that might be helpful, either on the parents and or just on little DeOrr. If they know anything, please come forward. Even if they think it's insignificant, give us a chance to take a look and see if we can solve this.
Talk about the private investigator. I know he says that you guys have been the best agency to work with, you and the FBI in Bonneville County, that everyone seems to be on the same page. Has he been able to assist much in the investigation, or is he doing his own thing?
He's pretty much doing his own thing. I've met with him once just recently. Otherwise, I allowed him to come in cold with no preconceived idea of what this investigations have been about, other than a missing child. And so he's working on a timeline, that's even varied from our timeline. So we've gained some new information. He's been pretty intensive on his interviews of all people involved, including a lot of the other family members and friends. So we'll have to wait and see how that all comes together. But, you know, from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of inconsistencies that he's found. You know, he doesn't believe that this is an abduction or
Which
by...
you said from pretty much the beginning.
Yeah, I felt from the beginning. I tried not to be as firm on that, just in the outside chance that there was a possibility, but I've come to the conclusion this is not an abduction.
You're hoping for honesty from the parties involved.
Absolutely, 100%. And the real victim here is little DeOrr. I just want to find him.
Do you think he will be found?
I just pray that he will.
You've been in law enforcement a long time. Have you seen anything like this?
I've seen a lot of cases, a lot of unusual cases over the years, and every one of them is so different. This has been a real challenge.
I'm sure you know that not just people in East Idaho, but all over the world are following this case.
Oh, absolutely. I get emails from all over the country. A lot of people, of course, are curious, and there's been so many rumors and innuendos and so forth. And with social media, it's almost impossible to clear all those up without giving away some information that might harm the case. So, you know, we're just being patient. We're trying to do this right and try to get it right.
Do you think an actual crime then occurred there at the campsite?
I don't know.
But we do know DeOrr was up there.
I'm fairly confident that DeOrr was there. I can't find anybody that says they're 100% positive he was there, but I feel fairly confident he was there at one time.
Mr. Klein mentioned that he was originally focused on 17 minutes of time, and now he's focusing on a 4-hour time period. Is that in line kind of with what you guys are looking at?
You know, I don't think that's outside the realm. I think our timeline might be a little smaller, but I don't think that's outside the realm of the possibilities.
Any idea how many hours you've spent working on this?
No clue. Thousands.
How has it been for your guys? I mean, mentally and physically and emotionally?
Overwhelming, yeah. We're smaller, we're more rural, and you know, we know most everybody in the county, and we know all of our volunteers, and they're really dedicated people up here. And I've seen the toll. It's been tough.
So when we spoke to Isaac, he told us that DeOrr was up there. Is his communication with you guys been questioned? Like, do you guys not trust him?
You know, he's probably been more consistent on his story from the very beginning, you know. I mean, we haven't seen any of the big discrepancies with him. Of course, he hasn't talked to us a whole lot either, you know, so that's been a challenge. He asked for an attorney before anybody else, but I think that kind of stems from some of his background. He's had a lot of interaction with law enforcement over the years, and so he's probably just being cautious. But his actual statements have been pretty consistent, and they haven't varied a whole lot.
And how about Grandpa? Has his story changed?
You know, he struggles with remembering certain things, and I think he gets frustrated quicker. And so you ask him something, sometimes he'll say, yeah, maybe that's what happened, you know, because he doesn't, you know, truly remember. So, you know, I can't say his stories have been inconsistent. He just hasn't been as knowledgeable and forthcoming as the parents have been very forthcoming. I just don't think it's been truthful information.
And the story's changed.
Absolutely.
And it's important to note, too, like you mentioned, these aren't tests you guys alone did. These are FBI tests, the polygraph tests.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sheriff, is there anything you want the public to know, anything else you want to add?
I just want them to know that we're doing everything that we think is feasible to try to find little DeOrr. That's the most important thing. We're going to just take it painstakingly slow, try to make sure we do things right, and that we don't make any huge mistakes. We're not perfect, but we just want to find out what happened and find DeOrr.